All right, friends, for the first part of this lesson, you need your notebook, your tic-tac-toe station board, and your pencil. So go ahead and get that now. Okay, if you have not finished your 3 stations on this sheet and your 6 stations in the notebook, you have 15 minutes to finish that now. So you can pause and go do that. The sub will set the timer for 15 minutes. So do that real quick. If you have, then you need to go ahead and make sure that you answered this question at the bottom about what can you conclude about sound and how it travels through solids, liquids, and gases. So at these stations, sound was traveling through some solids, some liquids, and some gases. So answer that question, and then we're going to go over the stations. All right, so the first station we're going to review is the string phone. So at the string phone, you and your partner were talking in the phone, and you should have been able to hear your partner's voice. Now, the reason that you heard your partner's voice was because of the vibration of the string. That's why I told you had to pull it tight. So the type of media that was going through was a solid, because the string is a solid. So because the string is a solid, the vibration and sound was traveling through a solid. So somewhere, whether on your tic-tac-toe or in your station card, you need to make sure that you included that sound was traveling through a solid because of the vibration. So check that real quick. Station 2 was toot a flute, and you were able to work on pitch at this station. You were able to change the pitch of your flute by making your straw shorter or longer. And it changed because the length of the space was holding the vibrating air. So it was traveling through the air in the straw. So it was a gas, and it was changing based on the length. So the pitch was changing. Make sure you have that note somewhere for station 2. So for tuning fork, you should have been able to notice that the larger tuning forks had a lower pitch and slower vibrations, and the smaller tuning fork had a higher pitch and faster vibrations. And then they were traveling through the air surrounding them. So when you were able to hear them, they were traveling through air, and air is take a guess. It is a gas. So it was traveling through air, which is a gas. At Hilarious Honker, I know some of you struggled with this one, but some of you were able to do it quite well. At this one, you were able to see how sound traveled through solids, liquids, and gases. So you should have a note about each one for that. So make sure you have that note, and then we'll move to ruler vibrations. No, wait, sorry, I changed my mind. On Hilarious Honker, the sound made the air vibrate, and the air hit the cup, making the rice and salt vibrate. Sorry, I confused those stations. So Hilarious Honker was making the salt and the rice vibrate, and the air in front of the honker was a gas. So it was traveling through the air that was a gas. The one where it was traveling through different solids, liquids, and gases was this sheet right here. You should have completed this sheet with your station 5, and that's how to sound travel through different materials. So all your notes for that one will be on here. So if you did not finish this station, you need to grab it from the side table and make sure you do this page, because you have to turn it in. All right, now the ruler vibration. Sorry. For the ruler vibration, the shorter the ruler was, the higher the pitch, and the faster the ruler vibrated. So the longer you made it, the pitch would get lower, and it would slow down its vibration. So hopefully you have that note written down. So for the hanger activity, you should have been able to hear the vibrations as you hit the table. It should have traveled through the string, which is a solid, and you should have been able to hear those vibrations and feel those vibrations. For the ukulele one, when you were moving your pencil to change the sound, the longer the rubber band, the higher the pitch. So the pitch should have been changing based on the length of the rubber band. So the longer the rubber band, the higher the pitch was. Make sure you have that note, and we'll talk about our last one. All right, the last one is the ping pong ball, and it was traveling through air, which is a gas. The air molecules were vibrating from the vibration of the tuning fork. So when you put the ping pong ball on top of it, it would kind of bounce the ball off of it and it would vibrate the ball to where it wasn't able to stay balanced. Make sure you have all those notes and I'll tell you what we're going to do next. All right, now you need to get a piece of notebook paper from the front table and we are going to look at this rubric. I want you to go ahead and look at the rubric because what we're going to do on our piece of notebook paper is we are going to draw and write examples of sound traveling in waves through different mediums. So how they travel through a solid, a liquid, and a gas. Here is an example of it traveling through a chair, which is solid, water, which is liquid, and balloon, which is gas. And then the explanation is at the bottom. Now, you're not copying this one. This is just an example of one. So I want you to look at your rubric to see what all you need to include. So you want all fours. That's what you need to include on your piece of notebook paper. Go ahead and pause and finish that, and then I'll tell you what you're going to do with it. All right, now that you're done with your writing, you're going to take your tic-tac-toe board with the rubric on the back, your traveling sound worksheet, and your writing piece that you just did. You're going to staple all three together and go turn them into the tray with your block number. Once you've done that, you need to get a sound energy sheet from the front table so we can take our notes. All right, so here we go. Sound is a form of energy caused by vibrations of matter, and it travels in waves. So objects vibrating faster, and we talked about this in our stations, if they travel faster, they are higher pitched sounds than those that go slower. Sound travels best through solid matter. So it traveled the best through the solid objects we were going over. And it does not travel at all through empty space. Then our next vocabulary word, repetition. Repetitions of sounds caused by reflected sound waves is called echo. So if you think about echolocation, it's being reflected sound, kind of like with dolphins and bats. They have that echolocation. So the loudness or softness of sound, that's its volume. That's why I tell you all the time, check your volume in class, how loud or soft you are. Then the rapid back and forth movement of the matter, that's the vibration. It's traveling back and forth. So that is called vibration. Some examples are guitar strings, violin strings, and your vocal cords. If you put your hand on your throat and say your full name, you'll be able to feel that vibration. All right, the last one is pitch, and that's the frequency or number of waves per second of the vibration that produces the sound. It determines whether the sound will be high or low. So the pitch is what was changing in some of our stations. It had a higher pitch or a lower pitch, and that was because of the frequency. Once you have all that, go ahead and get your glue stick. All right, go ahead and glue around the outside, and let's glue it down on page 41. Then you need to fill out your table of contents. So your table of contents should be filled out all the way through page 41. Now I'm going to give you two different things that you can work on. You can either work on some of your vocabulary, that sheet that I passed out yesterday that is due on Friday, or you can go onto Google Classroom, and I have put different sound energy and electrical energy websites on there. There's different books that you can read in the Sciencesaurus. There are different website activities, but you have this time to work on whatever you can to get ready for the test on Thursday. I'm also going to allow a little bit of time tomorrow, but if you have finished this, then that shows me you have worked hard and you can go ahead and get on those and study. If you are on a different website, then you will be kicked off because I am monitoring it, and so is the sub. So make sure you're making good choices, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks, friends.